one of the worst countries in the world to be a woman. They might have come a long way since a repressive Taliban regime, but freedom is still limited. Equality, a distant dream. And every day here, they face the threat of violence, rape, harassment.
In the market, on the streets, women regularly have lewd comments passed at them and are often inappropriately touched. But now there are disturbing allegations that sexual harassment is rampant at the highest levels of government. Men in positions of power asking for sexual favors in return for jobs or harassing their subordinates.
We're in Kabul to probe these claims. It's hard to find women willing to speak out in a conservative, male-dominated society. But our investigation has finally led us to a former government employee. We're hiding her identity because she fears a backlash. She told me her boss, a senior minister, repeatedly suggested that she should have sex with him, and then one day tried to physically assault her. When I went to see him, he told me the reason I selected you was because I want you to be my friend. He was asking for sex directly from me. I told him I'm qualified. I never thought you would say such things to me. I stood up to leave. He grabbed my hand and took me to a room at the back of his office. He pushed me towards the room and told me, "It'll take only a few minutes. Don't worry, come with me." I pushed him by his chest and said, "Enough. Don't make me scream."
And did you file a complaint after this incident?
No, I resigned from my job. I don't trust the government. You can't find a safe place to go and complain. If you speak out, everyone will blame the woman. She also told us 2 other women had come forward to tell her the same minister had raped them. Claims the BBC has been unable to independently verify.
It's not just one individual ministry or department. Several women we've spoken to have told us that sexual harassment is widespread in the government. Most of them are too afraid to speak out. But now we're going to meet another woman who's willing to share her story with us.
In fact, this is the first time she's telling anyone about it. She had all but secured a government job when she was asked to meet a close aide of President Ashraf Ghani. He asked me to come to his private office. He said, "Come sit, I'll approve your documents." He was moving closer to me and then said, "Let's drink and have sex." It was really shocking. I got scared and left.
Do you want some water? Should I get you some?
Last year, she contested parliamentary polls and says election commission officials also harassed her. During the election, even officers of the lowest ranks knew that you had to go through them for any work to be done. They would ask me to come and sit in their private offices and drink with them. If you go to complain to a judge, the police, a prosecutor, any of those, they'll ask you for sex. So if they're doing that, who can you go to? It's like it's become a part of the culture now, that every man around you wants to have sex with you. In Kabul, such stories have either gone untold or were discussed in hushed whispers until they were thrust into the spotlight in May by this man, General Ahmadzai, a former advisor to the president, now his political rival, who spoke about it in a TV interview. The president's office declined the BBC's request for an interview. They told us they had no comment beyond this statement.
All of General Ahmadzai's allegations are baseless, and he is lying because of his personal interests. The president's legal team will get in touch with the Attorney General's office and request him to ask Mr. Ahmadzai to provide evidence of his claims.
The government's reaction to the allegations has drawn criticism.
The response that the government gave is defensive. I think the culture of impunity is one of the reasons. The people who commit this don't get trial. So therefore, the man who are the perpetrators feel protected.
The Attorney General has launched a probe into the matter.
I'm Yogita from the BBC.
I met his spokesman in Kabul.
Thank you very much for seeing us. How do you expect the office of a man who's been appointed by the president to investigate allegations that could potentially involve people from the president's own government? How do you expect people to believe that that's going to be an impartial investigation?
The Constitution has given the right to the Attorney General to be independent. We've also asked activists, Muslim clerics, and human rights organizations to be a part of the investigation, to assure people that we are impartial.
This is a country where democracy has come at the cost of tens of thousands of lives. The war against radical Islamist groups here promised dignity for Afghanistan's women. Foreign nations continue to help keep the elected government in power. There are more women in parliament and in government now. But if they are not considered safe places to work, progress that was hard fought could come to a halt. Yogita Limaye, BBC News, Kabul.